Be careful. You might learn something.
Let's go.
You are now tuned in to the Factual Opinions Podcast with your host, I Am Pharaoh. Straight facts.
Welcome back, Sports World Factual Opinions Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 12. We're calling it In the Trenches. We say this all the time, but no, I got a really special guest here with me today.
For sure.
So I Am Pharaoh checking in with the Brown, Bruce Wayne, Big John.
Yes, sir.
Will West, the best, Nate.
You know it.
And you know, as I always say, there's blood and then there's family. I've known this young gentleman, yes, I called him young man, practically my whole life, basically. He's family. There was nothing cooler, and I don't know if I've ever said this to you, so I'm going to take the time to say it now. There was nothing cooler than being a young, inspiring football player myself, growing up knowing an NFL player personally. And having you be a famous NFL player and come during your off seasons and sit at my kitchen table with my dad and laugh and just want a natural, good home-cooked meal. Was something else, man. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, this is a fellow University of Cincinnati alum with me, Bearcats football legend. Ronnie Dixon played in the NFL for 6 seasons. He identifies most with those Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
But he played for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, and you were drafted by the Saints, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Down there in Magnolia.
Make it 9, not 6.
Down there in Magnolia.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle, sacked some of the premier quarterbacks of the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
My homie, my family member, my brother, Big Ronnie Dixon, man. Thanks for coming through.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Just like you said, family. Your dad brought me in. Dude, we kicked it off for years and didn't never look back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that story about when he was front lines manager and store trainer over there at Biggs, and I think he was dating one of his cashiers at the time. And she said, Mr. David, you like football, don't you? He said, I love football. She said, well, you like to meet my boyfriend. He always told the story, you walk through and the light disappeared from the door frame. And they said, oh, my God. But no, like I said, it's always been a pleasure of mine to know. And I remember you took us all out to Montgomery Inn Boathouse, and they lit your cigar for you, and you gave me an autograph picture. And then you made me feel special because I had my little Madisonville Tiger training card, and you made me sign that for you.
Right, right.
So I felt special. But I want to talk about a few different things, and before we get into your story and some of the NFL stories and UC stories, I'm going to talk about this once. Bob Huggins, my coach, we all know what happened over the weekend. If you're looking for a platform that's going to diss Bob Huggins, you're in the wrong one because I'm not going to do it.
For sure.
I'm not condoning what he did because that is dangerous. But I do want to wish Coach the best, send my prayers out to him.
The winningest coach
of all time in University of Cincinnati basketball history. One of 2 coaches to win 300 games at 2 different schools, the other being Roy Williams at North Carolina and Kansas.
900-game winner as well.
And a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Can't detract what he did, as a coach, but I do want him to get the help that he obviously needs. Shout out to Brother DeMar Johnson, who's been on this program. I know that's got to be rough because he's probably going to be looking for new school staff or whatever, but everybody involved and affected by it, man, I want to wish y'all the best. So
I'm gonna go on the limb and say this: Huggies is, I think I said it personally. I think he only had 1 or 2 more years because I think he wanted to sit down. I don't think he wanted to do it this way, but Huggies he was giving me the vibes of the transition of basketball and everything going on, and I think he was tired.
Either way, like I said, you can't detract from what was already done. But I want to get into Big Ronnie's story right away. So you were actually on campus kind of when the whole basketball momentum started. But I want to know, being born and raised in North Carolina, what made you choose UC, and was there a second choice?
There was many choices, but being back in the day was a Proposition 48. If you didn't make the ACT, you could be a prop. I had numerous choices. It was 5 that was dealt down was LSU, University of Carolina, NC State, and the East Carolina Pirates.
Okay.
Well, the East Carolina Pirates was real on me hard, so it was between them and UC. When I came on my trip here to UC, they said, we got you for 5 years. Right now, we're selling you for 5-year scholarship. We'll give you a scholarship right now. So I got on the phone with my dad. I said, well, guess what? You guys wanted to come out your pocket. 5-year scholarship guaranteed right here. So the coach that recruited me, you guys going to get a laugh out of, his name is Kevin Gilbright. You know who Kevin Gilbright is, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
He's the infamous coach that him and Buddy Ryan got in the fight on the side. He recruited me at East Carolina. Mm-hmm. He left East Carolina, came to UC. Once he got here at UC, he was here for about a month. He sat down with me. He said, listen, $70,000 or $700,000. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, I got a chance to coach as a coordinator for the Houston Oilers, $700,000. I said, why are you still here?
Mm. Right.
So to tell her that's how I got here to Cincinnati.
Okay.
And he said, there's an upcoming program, being that it was on academic probation. We had limited scholarships. And I was like, and you guys willing to give me one?
Right.
So that was a big kick right there.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta ask, do you recall, was there ever any tension between the basketball program and football? Did y'all get along?
No. Oh no, we got along well.
Okay. Because we had your buddy Terry Nelson out here a few episodes ago. And I told him, I said, I'm going to have Big Ronnie out here soon. He said, my man Boots? Yeah.
we got along. You mess with one, you mess with all.
Yeah.
So we had a great time.
I realized when I was at UC because Ryan Obi, Ryan Walker was he was red shirting, and next thing you know, we see Armenian Kirkland walking in the Ryan room. I'm like, what y'all doing over here? And then here come Eric Hicks. So everybody just coming in each other's room. So that's how it worked. I was like, I guess that's how it worked.
Shout out to E. Hicks. We need you on here too.
Yeah, E. Hicks, man. Stop playing, man.
Right.
I ain't about to keep trolling you. I ain't about to keep chasing you, man. I done hit you up once. I'm about to slow it down.
Right.
So you had a stellar career at UC. I know all your history and stuff, but I want to tell the public, 3-year letterman at UC, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about leading up to the draft, because I've heard some of these stories. I remember you telling me that, man, it's a very intensive process, and I know it's probably changed a little bit from the 90s, but you were supposed to go higher.
I was supposed to go late second round. Late second round, Buffalo Bills was going to draft me. I worked out for them like 3 times, and then came senior day, I worked out for them. Then they came back again, and they said, I want you to run 2 or 3 40s. And I just got back from the Senior Bowl, and coach said, I just need 2 good 40s. So at that point, I ran 2 40s for him. At that time, I was right around 308. I ran the 40 at 485. And then I ran the 480.
Jesus. Wait, hold on. Jesus.
Hey, man. We do this out here, but I don't think because he a big man, he can't.
I've been watching the draft. I watched the last one, and I seen the lineman run about a 4.3, 4.4, something. I seen it. So you doing this back in the 90s?
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Hey, man.
I literally in the draft, the 225. I stopped at 42 reps and hung it up. I didn't think nobody beat me, but the Samoan beat me with 44.
Yeah, that's
Natural.
Island strong.
Right. Old country boy.
Yeah.
My father, the strongest man you ever want to see, you ever want to be around. I didn't really start lifting weights until I got to UC.
I got an uncle like that in Athens, Georgia. Is just like that. I never test him. I ain't gonna ever test this gangster at all. You find true strength in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it led up when I was in the combine, I was doing a physical for Minnesota doctor said, "Hey man, you know you had a torn ACL."
Oh wow.
I said, "Torn ACL?" I said, "I ain't had no torn ACL." He said, "How many games you missed this season?" I said, "Sir, you don't understand. I just got back from the Senior Bowl. I played in the Senior Bowl." "No, you didn't." I said, "Yes, I did."
Did they go look at the film?
Yeah. He said, did you hurt it in the Senior Bowl?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't have." So when they went and did an MRI, I had a torn, not tore, I had tears in meniscus.
Partial tears.
And he said, they was like, "You actually," I said, "I've been playing like this. I played the whole season." So Ben said, you know how that goes. It's like wildfire. Went from second round to the third round. Giants. From the third round to the fourth round, Pittsburgh. So I'm sitting in my room, getting ready, get up, go for breakfast, took a shower, getting ready to go to class. I get a phone call. A guy named Jim Miller for the Saints. He said, "How you doing? Can I speak to Ronnie Dixon?" I said, "This is he." He said, "How you like to be a Saint?" I said, "I'll be down there."
That's all you gotta
Right.
Yeah, that's all he had to say.
Yeah.
Right.
And from that, that's just
So I'm gonna ask. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. So I'm gonna ask this question. So just simply because you had partial tears in your meniscus and it just got detected, that dropped you 2 rounds.
4, 6 round.
Man,
Yeah.
That's how intensive that process
You gotta
is.
remember,
goodness
man.
gracious.
It'd be minor things. Like think of a guy like Clinton Portis. Like just came off a national championship, went in the 6th or 7th round.
Yeah.
But it's
true.
because they look at stuff. They
looking at the medical sheet. They were looking at the medical sheet. Never mind. I remember. I'll never forget when Mike Pilgrim was supposed to be entering the draft, and his stock dropped all the way because of that knee.
Yeah. And look how long he lasts.
Mike didn't even get drafted, nor did he play in the NBA. He ended up going overseas.
Yeah.
But had a decent career overseas.
He had a decent career over there as well.
And shout out to Mike Pilgrim, of course, named head coach at Winton Woods varsity boys basketball. So Madisonville boy.
Boy.
Just like us. So played for Bobby Huggins, that first year at UC.
He's the first one. I'm gonna say this. He's the first one to ever do in a dunk contest to put it on the back of the glass and dunk from the other way. So imagine the rim facing that way. He's coming from this side. He touched the back of the glass, and then he dunking like that. He was the first one to do it. Now,
Getting back to football, do you remember what you did draft day when they called you and said you're gonna be a Saint? Do you remember what happened after that? Did you go party? Did you?
No, I went to class. I did. I went to class.
I'd have left.
No.
I see. That's why where he at.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's why he is.
I went to class. The class that I went into was the elective class. His name was Professor Anderson. He was a music class. I love music. Was in the class. Class was about to be over with, and he stood up. He said, "Listen, we have a student. We have one of the students in here. He's a bright young man. He never missed my class. He never cheats like some people in here I know. He's he's been funny. Professor Anderson was a great guy, and he said, I don't know. You guys know. You probably know he's an athlete. He said, but welcome to. I want you guys to understand this young man just got drafted 6th round to New Orleans Saints, and I just want to be the first one to congratulate you."
Yeah, that's awesome that
cool.
he took time to
cool.
do that.
Yeah,
That's real cool.
I didn't think he was interested, and he did what he
Didn't even know he knew.
No, didn't know he knew. Went to class. Rest easy, Big Dorian. I gave him a couple of dollars. He went up to the BW3s, bought a bunch of wings. I set wings and stuff on my desk in there. All the guys came in there. We just sat down, ate wings, drunk some beer and everything else. And they was like, man, we knew you was going.
Yeah.
We didn't know what round, but we knew he was going. That was it.
I remember a preseason game from your rookie year, may even been your first one, but it was one that was on ESPN. And I remember Big Dave taping the game. I believe it was. It was either a preseason game or it was the beginning of the season when you was your first year. He made sure he taped that game, and like I said, we was all. Me, my brothers, my mom, like the whole family,
right,
was in there watching. We was all So proud of you. And like I said, just knowing somebody that was in the NFL. I mean, we met NFL players, but like knowing somebody personally, man, you just have no idea how cool that was. And then again, like
It's
I said,
different. That's different.
You were so laid back, you know, you wouldn't know, really.
And it's crazy, man. I feel like I know you because this man has been talking about you since we were in junior high.
Yeah.
And it was like he would tell me stories and I would listen. And it is different because, like I said, God rest his soul, my cousin was Keith McCants.
Yeah.
He passed away 2 years ago. And it was just like, it's different when you know a guy that's in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's something you striving to do. And it's like, my family is from Mobile, Alabama. I have other family members that are in the NFL, but it's like actually like being able to touch him and call him and talk to him. And when I bought Madden or game day, I'm trying to find where he at so I could play with him. It's just, it's different. Like, it's just different.
That was cool too, finding you on Madden, especially when you was with Philly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, always playing with them. So when you got to the NFL, can you tell me, you know, a funny story or what you would consider your welcome to the NFL moment?
Welcome to the NFL moment, and you had to get up and do the traditional sing, and then, you know, they make you cut your hair and all that stuff like that. So the veterans wanted to manhandle you and make you do it and all things like that. So Frank Warren took me up in his wing, and, you know, they was like, hey, we're going to get you, we're going to put you in the shower, sit you in a chair and cut it. Frank Warren said, no, you don't want to do that. No. He said it's going to take more than you three to do it, so don't do it. Let him cut his hair voluntarily.
Right.
So, I wasn't, I know it's hazing. That's cool, but you're not going to you're not going to try to manhandle.
Pin you down and all that.
Let me do it my voluntary. You're not going to put your hands on me.
Right. Oh, they know who they can do it to. Who they can. They know.
So I stood in the mirror. I cut my own hair, so they was like, cut it. Oh, I don't care. I'll do it.
Yeah.
But just don't put your hands on me.
Right.
Yeah. So it's going to be a problem.
They get a DB, they get a running back.
Right. Consequences.
Maybe a backup quarterback, maybe a punter. They get all them, but you ain't get no lineman. Nah, lineman, it's over. That ain't going to work out too well.
No, it didn't. Who was it?
So Big Ronnie, I had teased, I had tagged you in some videos. A lot of people have been waiting for this question.
Right.
I know you like trolling, particularly Cowboys fan.
Right.
So I mean, you played during a tremendous era and an era that I was completely in love with the game of football. I mean, it was obviously played different. Rule changes and stuff have kind of, I'd say distorted the game from what it was and what I grew up loving and playing. But it was still a tremendous era. So a lot of people want to know. You said it before. I've heard this story. I know you said it at my kitchen table and said this. So people want to know. By the way, Big John grew up a Cowboys fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know you did. Let's be honest.
I don't shy away from it.
That's the number one thing I can say. I've always been a Bengals fan, even a trash bag Bengals fan. And I'm still a Bengals fan.
Listen, I go back to the David Klingler days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Brown,
ain't no
the Kroger bag, the Biggs bag over everybody's head. I was there.
Gus Farrat, Scott Mitchell, Kelly Smith. I've been here for it all. Okay,
I did.
Yeah,
I was a Cowboys fan as a child.
Yeah, so but we've had this discussion amongst ourselves.
My father, grandfather, and my brother are all named Calvin Hill. So the running back for the Cowboys was named Calvin Hill.
Calvin Hill.
So it's just happens.
Okay, so we about to get into it. So Big Ronnie has said many a times. It depends on how nice you trying to be that day, because I've heard you say it different ways before. But you say Emmitt Smith ain't no Barry Sanders.
No, I've
heard you say it.
He's no Barry Sanders.
I agree.
And the reason why I say that, and the utmost respect, is because of the 5 mules they had up front.
Mm-hmm.
If Barry Sanders had those 5 mules up front for his 9-year career, there was nobody ever touched the rushing record. Ever. He had 4,000 yards a season.
Mm. So Nate Newton in the game was the best offensive line.
Best offensive line of that era.
Mm.
Smallest one was 340.
Jesus,
340, athletic, couldn't move, nasty, didn't care, play rough. It was going to be a war zone, and it was a war zone every snap and every play.
Now, you know what I tell people, I love both of them, really. Particularly the fact that neither one of them is taller than 5'10", Emmitt and Barry. And when I say this, I want to let the public know, for me at least, it's no disrespect to Emmitt or whatever, but we know Barry Sanders. And I say Barry Sanders, and to me of that era, Barry Sanders and Corey Dillon did the most with less of any two running backs I ever seen.
I agree.
Like
other than Big Willie, don't do Big Willie like that.
What you mean?
I'm just saying. You say he did more with less, but he had Big Willie. But
come on, man.
I mean, Willie was by himself on that line.
Shout out to Big Willie.
Shout out to Big Willie.
Yeah. You know Big Willie.
No, he was by himself, man.
I was joking,
He
man.
was the only one.
Stop. You know Big Willie. Big Willie checks out our program too, and I appreciate him and the likes and stuff and following us. But he knows what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Big Willie even know he was by himself.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one guy on that right side.
Yeah.
Arguably one of, if not the best right tackle in NFL history, in my opinion. I know there's others like Jackie Slater, some other people that they talk about, but I prefer Big Willie. I might be a little biased, but
it is what it is. He was.
Yeah, he grew up here in Cincinnati.
He was a Pro Bowler for numerous years.
Yeah.
So again, it's no disrespect to Emmitt, but everybody knows that. And then not only that, because I had a follower say something to the effect of, well, Emmitt was a better winner or a championship winner. And I said, was he? Or did he have a Hall of Fame owner and head coach? And I think he played with a few Hall of Famers.
He had everything.
Too, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin.
Tight end, all that, lineman.
Overcheck wasn't bad.
Defensive end, corners.
Yeah, Charles.
Blocking back.
Moose was back there. What do you mean?
Got Charles Haley at defensive end.
Leon Lett, they couldn't stay.
Ken Norton was out there.
I forgot about Ken Norton. He was on that team too. Yeah, my thing is, I felt like Dallas was just a team full of stars.
Yeah.
They had all the pieces. In every key position, they had all the pieces that was needed.
Well, that's my point. You got to give...
Barry Sanders had a wide receiver.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to give Jerry his credit for building a championship organization.
We can't take that away.
And Jimmy for knowing how to coach.
Yeah, no doubt.
We can't take that away from him. But at the same time, you look at it, Barry Sanders was doing $1 million moves to get where he had to get.
As I call him,
dumpster juice.
Offensive line.
What he had, Big Lomas Brown, and that was it.
Oh, man, we tore Lomas Brown.
I was going to say Lomas couldn't move like that.
No, he couldn't move. I'll tell you the story behind him. But when you said that, he got on the radio and told television and the radio, well, we're going to play the Eagles, and the game's going to be over in the second quarter. We beat him 59-21.
So you can't get nobody bulletin board material.
And the crowd kept yelling his name. He wouldn't come off the bench. He sat on the bench with a towel.
With a towel over his head.
Lomas, will you come out and play? Yeah.
How you gonna do that and you just going in here and getting embarrassed?
This did not show up.
But yeah, he's lost and ran more yards sideways than a lot of backs in the history of football ran tackle to tackle.
Well, he had to when you making your first move in the backfield.
Right.
Like you getting the ball, you got to make a move.
Yeah, right. Instant.
I will never forget that game against Minnesota. They post that highlight all the time. And he had to, soon as he got the ball, boom, boom, he had to get out the way because the lineman was right there in his face. Yeah. Like, and it was constant things. Like, I remember watching continuously every Thanksgiving. What Barry Sanders doing?
Cutting the rug.
He out there dance machining.
Yeah. See, but I got tired of watching the Lions on Thanksgiving. In fact, I'm still tired.
We did. we still do. Now Barry gone. We don't even care about the Lions playing on Thanksgiving. Mm-mm. We want the team to change.
Well, ownership, the Ford family is one of them that...
it's true.
They don't really need football.
No.
That's not how they made their money. No, more of a hobby to them than anything. But, so I know I've asked you this question before, but, some other people might be interested in knowing. Why do you identify most with the Eagles. What did you enjoy most about playing in Philly?
What was the most enjoyable things for me in Philly when I was in Cleveland? It was the last week of training camp, the final cut. Me, Andre Rison, Michael Jackson, Derek Alexander. We was outside at Berea, Ballman Waters, cooking out. And I had having a good time. And if somebody come up to you and say, hey, coach want to speak to you and bring you a playbook, you know what that motto is, right?
Yeah.
You're doing the first thing, smoking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there talking to them, eating everything else. Guy walks up to me. He said, Bill would like to see you and bring you your playbook. I said, no, Bill ain't got to see me. I gave you everything I had out here, man. I'm serious. It just rushed through me. So I walk across.
This is Bill Belichick, by the way, in Cleveland.
Cleveland. Never forget it. I walk across, jump the fence, walk across the field, go in there. You had your own code to get in the building. Got my code, went upstairs. As soon as I walk in, Bill standing by his door. He said, Ronnie, called me truck driver. He said, truck driver ain't what he think it is. I said, man, when somebody tap you on the shoulder, I done seen 10 people get on the first thing smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And he just told me, you need to see me. It ain't going to be good. So he said, it's not what you think it is. So I said, what it is? So I hear the voice. He said, is that my guy? I said, excuse me? He said, is that my guy? It was Ray Rose. He said, Ronnie, Coach Ray Rose, Coach Ray Rose, Ronnie Dixon. He said, this is your new defensive tackle. He said, that's the reason why I need to speak to you, because we just traded you to Philly.
Gotcha.
He said, you were so deep in the depth chart. He said, management was fighting me tooth and nail because it had 2 guys you beat out in training camp. So it'd be real messed up. We paid this guy all this money, and here come a lonely truck driver making $120,000, be the guy making out $500,000-$600,000, and we done paid him. They was like, no, we're going to get some money out of this dude. So make a long story short, I got traded to Philly. Got to Philly, did what, it was a good trade. Couple linemen were hurt. I got in and starting lineup and started playing. Game what you said, Dallas, Monday night. Ray Rose had a meeting with us. Kicked all the head coaches out. Some explicit stuff was said.
For sure.
And he's like, the first late hits or penalties, whatever, I pay the fines. So you go do what you guys got to go do.
I need you to go scuff something.
I need you to go ramsack somebody's house, sit on their couch, eat their cereal, and kick the cat out, all types of stuff like that. So go in the locker room. I'm coming in the locker room. I walk in the locker room. On my stool, I see some no-dos. I said, who put some no-dos on my stool? He comes out the training room. He said, yeah. He said, you see them no-dos I put on that right there? If you don't play tonight, play well, you when you use the no-dos, you'll get back in that cab of that truck. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I was driving trucks. I was out. I was a truck driver. And I got out. I was out, and they called me, and I got a workout with Cleveland. He said, you going to be driving trucks. Dude, that took me to another level. I'm not gonna lie
for sure.
I was messed up, dude.
Yeah.
I was really on the edge. I was just quiet, bananas. I got bombs going on my head. This dude just threatened me and told me he going to put me back in the cab of a truck. I ain't going back in that truck. So we play on Monday night. 9 tackles, 2 bad down passes, 4 hurries, and 1 sack. 3 technique. Yeah.
Is that the one I was posting where you blew Emmitt up in the goal line?
Yeah.
Because that game, I believe, what was it, in the first half, he had 98 yards?
He had 98 yards.
He had 98.
Now tell the public how many he had in the second half.
He had 10 yards the second half.
That's a shutdown. It's definitely a shutdown.
10 yards the second half, because they switched up the whole dynamic of the defense. Instead of playing all the big money players, they played the thugs. They played the trenchers. They played the hard heads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't play favorites now. We're down now. So what we're going to do? We're going to lose with these favorites? Or you going to go ahead and put the naughty heads in here and go ahead and get this work done? So guess what they do? They go get a liquor store clerk, Kevin Johnson, and they go get an old truck driver, Ronnie Dixon. Y'all stay in the middle.
Right.
Y'all don't let nothing bounce. Y'all don't let nothing come out of the middle. You make it bounce. And that's what we did for the second quarter. We made it bounce.
There you go.
There it is.
That's it.
So I know you enjoyed that and them Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh, I love the Philly. Tony Luke's.
So I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
So is the Philly cheesesteaks, are they to the top tier from Philly? Because I'm going to Philly.
See how you looking at
Philly.
it.
See, look at his look.
see how you looking at
I
it.
know. I have to ask because I be questioning because people be like, it ain't even that good, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I gotta go. I gotta go get it for myself.
You would never eat, what's the name of this place here, though? What's this place in called?
Penn Station.
You'll never eat Penn Station again.
Dang.
You'll get that little card and let them have them transferred and shipped to you in dry ice. I'm telling you, you will have them transferred, shipped to you in dry ice.
Cause what's the joint? Matter of fact, Michael B. Jordan had it in Creed.
Maxis.
That's the joint I want to.
Yeah.
I want to
You
experience.
got Pat, Gino and Pat. You talking about in the funny is a funny intersection.
It's like a weird looking
yeah,
intersection.
that's it.
Yeah.
Gino and Pat. That's how it looked.
Oh, okay.
Then the Tony Luke's is down on the other side of South Broad Street. Tony Luke's. Greasy bag. Put you to sleep.
Javier,
See? Now you know what.
Javier, I'm coming to Philly, so you better be prepared for me.
What Will say on the Fresh Prince with Carter was like, look at all that grease. It's beautiful, ain't it?
Beautiful.
Says covered in grease.
Beautiful sight. And that's why I would share. I would tell you the whole story about Cleveland, but we won't have to. We won't have enough time for that one.
Yeah. Well, I know that your time in Cleveland, I still have it actually.
Yeah.
You know, God rest Big Dave, my dad. So that ball that you got signed by all the original 95 Cleveland Browns, you know, before they moved to Baltimore. So everybody's on that ball from Vinny Testaverde, Andre Rison, the whole gang.
Right.
Was Coach Belichick on there?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
see,
it.
He would.
Yeah.
So I got
you got some
I got a
memorabilia.
historical item.
You got some history.
You got the Super Bowl team,
All right.
the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
Super
they
Bowl
move
team.
it.
That was the Super Bowl team.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know they kicking themselves for letting Belichick go when they move. Old Ozzy.
Yeah. People hate him. I respect him because he's a hard-nosed coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's an intelligent man.
Yeah.
Very intelligent. Very intelligent.
Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, he is. There's no denying his place in NFL history. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Got you. And I know he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Comes from the Parcells tree. We're going to get to that in a second.
There you go.
When we talk about Belichick, though, and we talked about this before on here, there's another part that I feel like you do have to bring up. You know, there's been allegations of certain, things or bending the rules or whatever. But for me, a lot of people always ask, well, who do you think was more responsible for that run they had in New England, him or Brady?
Yeah.
You think it's him?
Yeah. Have you ever noticed he's always putting the same blueprint team on the field?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
I am. Now, but Brady went on to win a Super Bowl. It's been kind of rough for Coach Belichick without Brady.
Because he don't have the Will Forks. He don't have the offensive line.
You said that, Big John.
Yeah, I'm just being real.
The Richard Seymours and all of them.
Folks gonna get mad at me right now, which I really don't care. The game has became soft.
It's different.
It's a different era. When he was making all his run, he had some monsters and some dominators and some thumpers that didn't care. That's when you played football. You went up there, you two gap, you let your linebackers play, and you smash somebody in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's made his trademark of. Why you think the offense is on the field so much? Because he had a physical defense. He's always had that.
Linebackers like Mike Vrabel from the.
Come on.
You know.
I'm going to go back a little farther. Carl Banks.
Right.
Pepper Johnson.
Oh, he went to the also.
Shut up. Right.
By the way, mentioning all these Buckeyes out here.
Yeah.
But well, I mean that's an interesting take, and everybody has their opinion. But like I said, you can't detract the greatness of either one of them.
No, you can't.
So when you played for the Jets, Parcells was the head coach. Was Belichick on that staff?
Belichick got Parcells the job. You didn't know that, did you? Parcells was still in New England.
Yeah, and they had that thing because he.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He accepted the head coaching job. Bill Belichick did. Then 2 days, the next following day, had a press conference. He said, I'm relinquishing my head coaching, and here's your new head coach.
Yep, he did pass that down. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
Al Groh was on that staff.
Al Groh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? Old KC and a Pittsburgh coach. He's coaching the XFL right now. It'll come back to me. Mangini was on there.
Yeah.
You gonna mess your head up. Strong.
Oh, wow.
He was an intern.
Oh, wow.
Texas.
Yeah.
Charlie Strong.
Charlie Strong was on
Louisville, Texas.
Yeah.
He had.
Did not know
He ain't in
that.
South Florida still, is he?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No. He ain't.
That was the last spot he
That was
was.
the last one he was at.
You know who I'm talking about. He was the
I know, but I can't think of the name.
starts with an H. He'll come back to him. But yeah, he was
No, Hubert Davis. No.
He'll come back. He had 7 head coaches on that squad.
Yeah.
That Parcells tree is tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Romeo Cornell
Yep.
was my D-line coach. He was the head coach for the Browns and Kansas City.
Texans?
Yeah.
Well,
And Minnesota.
I made
No, not Minnesota. Yeah,
I made a post last year talking about how stacked that the original staff going back to when they were all on the Giants. It's about Al Groh, it's about Romeo Cornell, Charlie Weiss. All of them were on that staff together with Parcells, Belichick. Like that was Al Groh. That's excellent.
How many rings is that right now? I'm just thinking that.
It's a lot.
I'm just thinking about it. That's a lot of rings.
But that whole saying, iron sharpens iron.
That's
like,
a lot of knowledge. That's a lot.
My bad. I'm mistaken. It was Dennis Green that was in Minnesota. That's so
Yeah,
it wasn't
Dennis
Minnesota.
Green,
It wasn't,
Denny,
that was
Denny was in, what is it, 49ers?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Denny.
That's the Bill
He was-
Walsh.
no, he was
That's
under
the Bill Walsh
Walsh
tree.
umbrella, yeah.
Him, Mike Holmgren was on that staff. Denny Green. I know I'm missing somebody.
Boy, Chucky,
Yeah, Gruden.
Chuck
Yeah.
Gruden was on that.
Yeah, Mooch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All. So I need one, Big Ron. I need a funny Parcells story.
Funny Parcells story. Oh yeah. We're playing I think it wasn't the 49ers. No, it was playing Pittsburgh. And it had a kickoff returner / wide receiver, Dedrick Ward. I'm in the wedge. They got him on the wing. So, they kick off. We coming out, and we got to go off there, where he's at. We got to make that wedge, left, right, center. So he's over there. I'm looking. He just opened up the gate. Dude run past him. So what the world? So he keep, that's the key point.
Yeah.
He let the gate open, everything's over with. So he come to the sideline, he jogging off. He said, let me tell you something. Do I need to write a letter for your mama for you to hit somebody? Matter of fact, let's go to take your uniform off. Let's walk over to take your uniform off. He said, jump on his back, trip him, grab by the nuts or something. He said, quit opening up the door. Yeah, Dedrick Ward was his name. I said, man, he cut this dude on the sideline.
That sound like some Parcells stuff.
That's funny.
That's the second funniest. The funniest is in practice. You got your offense, you got your defense, you got your playbooks. So somebody didn't write up the playbooks for offense like they're supposed to be to give them a good look.
Who's your quarterback then?
It was Vinny Testaverde, Mike Buck, and another guy. I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. Mike Buck, Vinny Testaverde, and what was his name? O'Donnell. Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Oh.
Neil O'Donnell.
And he got shipped to Pittsburgh.
Then he got shipped to Pittsburgh. So somebody didn't draw something right. So what he does, when you ever see him got his baseball cap on, he take his cap off and hit his leg and start doing this. Somebody about to run.
So
Somebody about to run. So the two interns arguing, going back and forth. He said, "I tell you what, both of you." Yeah, hit
take
the line.
off. Take
They
off.
ran to the fence and came back. Something else wasn't right. He fired the whole staff on the field. Get off my blankety blank field. Get out of here now. I do this blankety blank by myself. Fired every coach on the field. We standing there. He's got an offensive playbook in his arm. He got the defensive playbook in this arm. Practice gone. Line on up. So he goes into the offensive huddle and hold the playbook up. What play's supposed to be running.
Yeah.
Put it back in his arm. They come to the line. He's standing there.
He went.
Huddle. He tell the defense, they coming over, they going there. Right. He said, I said, this fool for real. Hot, hot, hot. Bah. You know what? Y'all can't block nothing. Run.
Right.
He went old school for real.
Right.
Just shut it down.
Shut everything.
We go.
I heard Parcells was that particular. Like when he came into a situation, whether it was the Giants, New England, there in New York, like even in Dallas, like he was so particular. Even the security guard got fired.
Yep.
Because he wanted a specific person to do that level of detail.
Right.
And that's how you win the Super Bowls that he won.
And he almost got into it with Jerry when he was in Dallas.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Have you ever seen him when you're sitting on the sideline, or have you ever seen him in his press conference? His favorite phrase: "Do your job and don't worry about the next man. Everything's following."
Mm-hmm.
That's where Belichick got that do your job.
There it is.
I love those, like, FX sound effects when they come to the sideline. You can see what and hear what's going on during the game. And everybody thinks with all those Super Bowls with Belichick that it's something so profound or detailed. And he just comes over and he says, hey, we're fine if we just do our job.
Yep. That's the
That's
only
simple.
thing he do.
11-man game. If everybody does their job, this is the result.
It's the ultimate team sport, and we've been playing football since we was 5.
Yeah.
What have we heard? Every level of football.
Right.
Do your job.
Do your job.
If you do your job, you ain't got to worry about the next man doing theirs because they're going to do theirs.
He said, I'm not giving you plays. He said, I'm giving you game situations.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're playing and you see that situation, your light go like this.
I think basketball need to incorporate that because game situations is top tier things you got to realize. You got to know how to handle certain situations, and people don't know how to handle certain situations.
Right.
This dude sat there, had Otis. You remember Otis Smith? That's the one the Barry turnaround circle.
Mm-hmm.
He got a holding call. He brought him off to the sideline. I jogged him, did 2 plays to come back. Otis was there. He said, "Nah, you not go back in." He said, "You just cost us a touchdown. Watch this. You just cost us a touchdown on a holding." He said, "Watch this. Give me that short dig right there. Short dig right there."
Jesus,
He said, "He's
Pete.
gonna come back with it. They're gonna go to post and come back around here. Post and come back." Then they did it. What he said, a slide dig, a try dig, come back, touchdown. He said
That out route.
right, yeah, out route. He said, "Told you just cost us a touchdown." He caught
That's
3 plays
Yeah,
back to back, and it happened.
that's pure football genius.
It is. You can't replace that knowledge.
Yeah.
Precise.
That's where Andy Reid is right now.
Yeah.
So, Big Ronnie, before we wrap up, there's a couple more things I want to touch on. I get called a leatherhead by some people because, I'm so old school when it comes to football. I'm like, hey, man, it ain't for everybody.
No,
There's a price to pay. It is what it is. Like, I personally don't think the game needed to be changed it out. Now, there are guys like maybe a Vontaze Burfict or something that, might go a little far, sometimes if it's intentional. But for me, like I said, football is football, man. There's been so much talk about CTE and all this, and I try to explain to people, the league and Roger Goodell, in my opinion, and you can correct me if you're wrong because you lived it and did it, I don't think it's about player safety as much as it is them not wanting to be sued and stuff like that. Now, I don't understand how, and I hate to use him as an example, but I will, somebody like Junior Seau's family. if I was a judge and you walked into my courtroom after your family member played 21 seasons, most violent game that, by the way, you don't have to play. There are other careers and stuff that you could do. Talking about CTE and stuff, I said, of course you would have that. Like, I would laugh you out of my courtroom. Like, what are you talking about? This is something he willingly chose to do. Now, I know that you spoke to me off the record and you told me and my dad how even you had to fight, do your disposition and stuff to get, you know, your benefits and stuff. But where do you fall on that? Because most of you guys are like, I was, like Big John was. It's like, hey, man, sign me up again. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. But where do you fall as far as thinking about that and the consequences of playing a game of football?
The consequences, we knew what was going to happen when we walked across the white lines. No doubt about it. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat nothing. You might break your hand, your leg, even your neck. Mm-hmm. Not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. But the issue that we had, you lied to me. You said you were going to give me stuff that protect me, and you didn't. Mm-hmm. Then you lied to the public, then you lied to the doctor, then you lied to everybody else. I said, no, it's never happened. Yes, it is. Brother, I've been in the huddle. Got a DN laying on me like, dude, I can't see. Mm. I reach in my sock, get some smelling salt, give it to him. He sniffed it. He said, all right. I said, I see two of them. I said, okay. I said, line in tight. I said, when I say come to me, come to me. That type of stuff. It was violent. I played for the carnage.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I played for the carnage. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to hurt you, but I was going to give you some of the most wickedest hits you could ever see. Mm. But going back to what you said, you knew the consequences, but you also set up a format and said, we got protocols so you won't get hurt. Mm. That's a lie. That's a lie. They lied. Dude, there's been many times guys got concussions still standing there, blanked out, seeing little fuzzy dots. They shake it off, throw a cup of water in it, they line back up again. Do you think they took him out? No. Mm-mm. You can't make the club in the tub. Mm. So you better, when you well, you better be held. Mm. Because when you hurt, you're dirt.
Right.
Mm. And it is a similar line. And it takes so many young men and they chop them up and don't care. Next.
That's why they draft so many players.
To have that NFL
emblem
on your chest.
Yep.
You literally, my rookie year, you got 5,000 players. My rookie year in New Orleans, we had 21 defensive linemen, and they was only going to keep 9. Do the math, brother.
Yeah, them numbers don't make sense at all.
Do the math. You keep a 9 linemen, you got 21 in training camp. That's when training camp was 6 weeks of 2 days.
It ain't that way no more.
That's when you lock, stock, and barrel. You had to go get it.
Right.
And me, I don't want nobody to say, oh, man, he's messed up, his stuff jacked up. I knew what I was doing, but you lied to us.
Yeah.
Then you try to hide it and cover it up. You threw a rock and hid your hand. I had a former player I played with, rest his soul, fullback, 6'2", 240, Alabama. Mm. He died 3 years ago. Kevin Jones, KT, was 6'2", 240. When he died, he was 70 pounds.
Jesus.
He sat there, he didn't have no motor skills. He sat there in the bed, his wife was feeding him, and he muttered to his wife. Mm. Mm. And it hurts you today just to say that, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about me.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't going to cry about it. But they lied. And it's a business, man.
Yeah.
And people got to understand. Somebody said, well, that type of money, they're making da-da-da-da-da-da, this and that, privilege. I said, do you say that to the doctor to go work on you?
Right.
Do you say that to the lawyer that you hire?
Mm-hmm.
Do you say that to them? It's entertainment. So if you're going to go do it, get all the money you can. Mm-hmm. Set it aside for generational wealth for your children too.
That's why a lot of these players now actually ask for extensive health plans, extensive things outside of contracts now. Like, we ain't talking about the guaranteed money. We making sure my medical, something happened to me, my family taken care of.
I mean, because like I said, me and Alex have talked about this at every level of football, whether it's Pee Wee or the NFL. You sign a waiver. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
My mom, me being 5 years old, had to sign a waiver to let me play.
Sure.
So you know what you're signing up for, but like you said, tell me the truth. Let me know what's going on. And I can assess myself. And then you got guys, my bad, you got guys like Patrick Willis and Calvin Johnson are retiring early before they have those problems.
Mm-hmm.
So they can.
It makes sense, though. It makes sense. Why?
They got them still.
They got them already.
They got them already.
In a way, though, it's not funny, but in a way, the NFL still kind of flagging it in your face because you play on Thursday. You know, there's a lot of players.
Yeah.
Like, you care about player safety now, all of a sudden, but you got us playing on Thursday.
You had 2 more games, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you add 2 more games.
And when the college season over, you're playing on Saturdays.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You follow me?
Yeah.
You got, you not just 2 games. Now you got 3 games in a week. You know, players. Matter of fact, do you know how much Roger Goodell make?
Not exactly. But
Roger Goodell makes $48 million per year. He's been there for 16 years. So you do the math. It averaged $35 million.
I did not know he make that much money. What
math.
in the Jesus?
He been doing this for almost 20 years.
Say it again. So you got almost $500 million, $750 million.
I got to give him a calculator.
Look at Matt.
I got to give him a calculator.
Now, there you go. $960 million.
Lee brought it up, man. Wow.
That's
And ain't played an ounce of football.
ain't putting his body on the line.
Body ain't on the line, nothing.
And he been working for the league longer than that.
Yeah, he been working for the league for almost 30 years.
Commissioner, but he's been.
Yeah,
I've seen the photos of him and Pete Rozelle going way back.
Yeah,
that's my take, dog. I sympathize with these young guys right now because they still walking around in this fantasy world, and they need to understand. You got the pen. We made a rule where you at. So it's up for you to take that pen and write some of these wrongs. Facts.
There it is.
There it is. And that's the truth. You know, that's like you said, you use my back as a bridge. There's a lot of guys that I had to step on to get for the 9 years I played. But we fought for them.
Yeah.
We fought for them. You know.
I'm glad you got every ounce that you should have got. That's what I'm glad you was blessed to get it. I will say that.
Well, we just blessed that Big Ronnie came to spend some time with us. I want to let you know again, you always welcome.
No doubt. I sure appreciate y'all, man.
You are always a family member of mine, will continue to be.
No doubt.
You know, me and Moms love you.
No doubt.
You know, Big Dave and Dustin and the gang did also.
Oh, my doubt.
So I want to remind everybody, you know, this episode will be on the Factual Opinions YouTube page. If you're an audio listener, it'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. You know where to check us out on IG and Facebook. This is I Am Pharaoh signing out with the Brown, Bruce Wayne, Big John.
Yes, sir.
Will West, the best.
You know it.
And my homie, Big Ronnie, Bearcats legend and NFL defensive tackle.
Oh, pickle face mud hole.
We'll do it better the next time, folks.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.